What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast. You got the boys with you. It is not football talk today, although we could. It is not football talk today. We've got a wonderful time of the year. Honestly, I think that there's two great sports times. March into April, and then September into October. Because you get football and baseball and everything kind of ending there in the fall. And then here we've got baseball starting and college basketball. The NCAA tournament tips off today. We are going to knock out the round of 64 right now, giving all of our picks. We will not have the same brackets because we haven't collaborated on this at all. This is just what we think is going to happen. And I'm filling a bracket out as we go, so that way I can kind of keep tabs on how I'm doing with my picks. And we're just going to go East, West, South, and then Midwest brackets. Sound like a plan?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
First game.
Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlayBookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video.
Number one seed of the whole tournament, UConn against 16 seed Stetson Hatters. That one's easy. I think maybe this would be the biggest upset in tournament history by a mile. I think more of an upset than Farley Dickinson over Purdue last year, and that was a huge upset. I don't see any way UConn doesn't win this game, right?
No, I think UConn being the defending national champion, number one overall seed, I do think they got hoed a little bit with their region as far as other opponents in their region, but they don't lose this game today or tomorrow, whenever it is. They're not losing to Stetson.
Agreed.
No. Yeah, I would say I could have been a dick and said 16 seed, but not. Just what's the point, man? They're not. No, I mean, hey, every now and then it'll happen, but not this year, not number one seed. UConn.
And not this number one seed. Now, maybe another one is in trouble, but not this one.
Nope. Yeah, UConn, nice and easy.
Yep, agreed. All right, next up, 8 versus 9, a good one. Florida Atlantic against Northwestern. This one's kind of tough. You look at who, it's a 2.5-point favorites for the 8 seed Florida Atlantic. Colin, what are your thoughts on this one?
My initial thoughts are Florida Atlantic's one of the better offensive teams that are top 20 in adjusted offense, but they're 107th in adjusted defense, and I think that's ultimately going to hurt them. Promoted this year to the American Conference, and we saw it in regular season play. Obviously, they struggled at times. 3 or 4 quad 3 and 4 losses this year. Everyone's going to be high on them after last year's run. I really want to go Northwestern, Big Ten bias. But at the same point, I do think at some point the experience of last year does play a factor. These are a lot of guys that returned from last year. John L. Davis, their point guard, Vlad Golden, their big man, both returning from last year. So I'm going to go Florida Atlantic here and move on.
Addison?
I'm actually going to go Northwestern here, Big Ten bias. I just think Boo Booey, Northwestern, big-time player in the tournament. And one thing Colin, you brought it up, the defense for Florida Atlantic. Are they going to be able to step it up against Northwestern, who plays in the Big Ten, went 12-8 in conference and a good conference? You know, they are 2-3 in their last 5 though, which is a little tweaky for Northwestern, a little struggles at the end. But at the end of the day, they can score points, play good defense, and I'm a big fan of Boo Booey, so give me Northwestern.
I like it. I think this is probably one of the obviously the 8-9 matchups are super close.
Yeah, this is close.
I think historically 56% of the time the 8 seed wins, so that's nothing, I do think I'm going to go with Florida Atlantic in this one because they're one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the nation, and Northwestern gives it up to opponents. They give up 25.6% opponents' offensive rebound percentage. Like, they really give it up on the glass, and I like the Collins point of the experience here. Shout out Gold Fine and Bowles, experience that wins. And I like Florida Atlantic to pull off kind of almost an upset maybe, because obviously the Big Ten, I always want to go Big Ten. I just always want to go Big Ten because they play a physical brand of basketball. They play good defense. But Florida, and that's kind of what this game comes down to is, will Florida Atlantic's defense let them down? Will Northwestern slow them down? It's kind of those all gas versus all brakes sort of game. I'm just going to go with the more experienced Florida Atlantic in this one in a good game.
Yeah, not to drag it on because I know we got to get through 32 games here relatively quickly. But Big Ten history, the last few years in the tournament, what has the Big Ten done? So I might have to start fading all these Big Ten teams throughout our video here. But yeah, let's move forward to that third game, Nate.
Next game is 5 seed San Diego State against UAB, the 12 seed. one of those dreaded 5-12 matchups. I feel like every time I fill out my brackets, I'm like 50-50 picking 12 seeds and picking 11 seeds to win also. I love the 11 seeds this year. I love them. But we'll get into that. I like San Diego State in this one, though. I really do. Good defensive team. UAB is a good offensive rebounding team, but so is San Diego State. San Diego State 7-point favorites. I just like them as the better squad in this one to get it done. Addison?
I'm actually going to take my first 12 here. I'm going to go UAB. They did keep it close throughout the year in close games. They were 8-5, I think, in games under 10 points. So that's a little bit scary considering the tournament will come down to the wire. Not the best performance, but got to have a 12 beat a 5. I got to. Probably multiple, let's be real, as well. And San Diego State, not the best year in conference. I don't know. I'm going to rock with UAB here, and I'll probably be 0 for 32.
That would be more impressive than going 32-0, honestly.
Yeah, it really would be. That's what I want. I want 0 for 32 or 32 for 32.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. Colin, thoughts on this one?
I'm going to go San Diego State as well. Once again, a lot of people are going to be high on them after last year, making to the Final Four. Do I think they do it again this year? I don't know. Top 20 in strength of schedule, and then top 10 in non-conference strength of schedule. And then we all know the Mountain West was really, really good this season. More so just fading UAB. I don't see a lot going on over there. Sorry, Addison, for badgering on UAB here, but I have San Diego State moving on to the next round here.
Yeah, that could be a sneaky good game. Those 5-12 matchups are always good games, man. That could be a good one. And San Diego State, it's going to be a low score. Like, take the under in that one if you're a betting person, in my opinion, because it's a good defensive team in San Diego State. Next up, 4 seed Auburn, 13 seed Yale. Addison, thoughts on this one? Oh, you're muted, brother.
Sorry, I had a cough and I didn't want to just be yakking into
Sorry, I went right to you, of course.
No, I respect. I thought I unmuted, but just good for the viewers. This one I just feel bad for Yale. Auburn extremely hot coming off the SEC tournament win. And at the end of the day, I look at Auburn, I see experience. I just think it's going to be too much. It's just the same thing when it's SEC and when it's Big Ten. I just have a hard bias against smaller teams, where it's just like I don't think the athletes are going to be able to compete, even though it's not going to be that big of a difference, but it's just going to be enough. Give me Auburn, who's rolling right now, and Colin, you said it, UConn. They got some tough opponents, and Auburn's one of them in their side.
100%. Colin, thoughts on this one?
I like Auburn here as well. I mean, look at all the advanced metrics. They're top 10 in both scoring offense or offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency, as well as being SEC tournament champions. Love the emotion from Bruce Pearl after the championship game. Obviously, people are, calling him out for being a crybaby, whatever. Dude just won SEC championship after his dad passed last year. Give him a fucking break. Mm-hmm. Auburn's always one of these sneaky teams too. Watch out. This team could be Elite Eight, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him here in this game.
Yeah, I'm also on Auburn. Full sweep there for Auburn. I just think they're the better overall team. And like Addison said, they're hot. It's a hot team. You do not want to face them right now. There's a few of them in this tournament that are coming in red hot. And just teams you don't want to see. Next up, we've got the 6 versus 11, BYU and Duquesne. I go back and forth on this one a lot, surprisingly. I watched Duquesne play in their conference games, and I was impressed. I liked how they played in their conference championship game, but I just can't go against BYU in this spot. They're just a better shooting team. They can get red hot, and you're in trouble. BYU is one of those teams that if they're hitting, they're hitting. And if they're not, then anything can happen. But, 1.2 points per possession is very, very good, very impressive. Good offensive rebounding team. I like BYU to get the win over Duquesne. Colin.
Yeah, you mentioned it. BYU can score, and Duquesne's not the best scoring team. I think they're like in the 160th ranked as far as offensive efficiency goes. Both teams are fairly good defensively. If BYU gets cold from 3, watch out because their offense can be really stagnant, but I am going to take BYU to move on here.
Yeah. Addison.
Yeah, I'm going to take BYU as well throughout the year. A couple of big wins. They beat Kansas earlier in the season as well, and it just seemed like BYU was in a lot of games. Played Iowa State well both times they played. Colin, you said it, obviously 3-point shooting scary in the tournament because that's how you make and break, die quickly. But I'm gonna go BYU here. And sorry, Duke and these nuts.
Yeah, shocking how good BYU was this year, moving to the Big 12. I
Yeah.
think they were in the WCC. They
Yeah.
were the Gonzaga's conference, moved
Mhm.
up, and they performed very well this year. So we'll see if they can make a run here.
Solid squad. Next up, we've got your Fighting Illini going up against the Morehead State Eagles. This one is kind of a trendy upset pick. Honestly, I've seen it a lot on social media because it's a game where one team is all gas, all offense, top 10 in offense this season. I want to say they were seventh. Yep, seventh in points per possession, but no defense. No defense. They will just do their very best to outscore you, as evidenced by the Big Ten tournament games. Like, Big Ten games are traditionally low scoring, except this year when Illinois plays in them. It's going to be 90 to 80, and Illinois is just going to outscore you. That's just how they're playing right now. Morehead State, very good defensively. They are top 50 in opponents' points per possession, number 9 in opponents' effective field goal percentage, which is very, very good. But obviously, I'm not picking against Illinois. They're coming in hot. Just won the Big Ten tournament, played good ball, played tough teams. I mean, Nebraska was red hot. Wisconsin was a top 6 team in the country earlier this year before they got cold. So they had to go through some good teams, and they got it done, and they're just kind of hot at the right moment. Will it last? I don't know, but I like them to beat Morehead State in this one. Colin?
Yeah, I like Illinois here in this spot as well. It just scares me if Terrence Shannon is, going to have a bad game. What's Illinois look like? You know what I mean? Coleman Hawkins is about as streaky as they come. Here's the one thing: Morehead State. You can harp on these smaller schools, these mid majors, for their strength of schedule and who they've played at this point. But when you look at the advanced stats here, Morehead State's strength of schedule is 321st ranked. Their opponent's offensive efficiency was 298th ranked, and their opponent's defensive efficiency was 333rd ranked. I don't think these guys know what's about to hit them today. If Illinois doesn't win by 15 plus, it'd be a shock to me, honestly. But like I said, if Terrence Shannon has an off game, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Addison?
Yeah, Brad Underwood coaching for his job here, just straight up. Got to win this round one with this Illinois team. We obviously brought him up, Shannon Jr. He's how far Illinois will go this year. I mean, he's balling out of his skull. Damascus is another good scoring guard. The guard play from Illinois is going to be good in the tournament, and that's important. That's very important. So give me Illinois here. I think it's going to be a smoke show, like we're all saying. Terrence Shannon's going to lead this Illini team to the deepest tournament run they've been in a minute. So give me Illinois here. Thank you, brother.
Yes, I like it. All right, 7 versus 10, Washington State against Drake. Another super trendy upset pick that I'm riding with. I'm taking Drake in this one. I think this one's pretty much 50-50. I think you could argue both teams solid, not spectacular. Drake, very good rebounding team, number 6 in the nation rebounding. Washington State, number 7 in the nation in defensive rebounding. Both teams get their own rebounds. They don't give up offensive rebounds to anybody. Both offenses, okay. I will say Drake's offense, number 21 in the nation, points per possession. Very, very solid. Not as good defensively, but I like Drake to pull away with kind of an upset victory in this one. It's going to be a good game. This one's a 1-point spread. It's a pick 'em. So I'm taking Drake and the 10 seed to get the upset here. Addison, thoughts?
Well, Drake obviously won the tournament, Missouri Valley Conference, so they are riding hot right now, but just looking at it and just straight gut reaction here tells me Washington State, and no reason other than that. So if you're wanting more, you ain't getting shit.
I love it.
There's got to be some of these picks, man. I'll be wrong if I put too much thought into it.
Yeah. I mean, I could sit here, I could study these teams every minute they've played. Every team in the tournament, I could study every minute they've played and make picks, and I will be equally as right as somebody who went through and randomly clicked buttons.
Yep.
It's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Colin, thoughts?
Yeah, you're better off just picking the team based off what mascot will win in a fight than you would be actually looking at the numbers in film. I'm going to take Drake here, no bias. Both parents went to Drake, no bias here. I do think they have the best player here, Tucker DeVries. Don't know how to pronounce it. Sue me. Averaging almost 22 points a game. He can really fill it up. Big guard. You need some good guard play in March. I'm going to take Drake here as the Trinity underdog as my one upset here in the East region.
Okay, I like it. And then let's get into the last game for the East region. It's the 2 seed Iowa State going up against the 15 seed South Dakota State. I'm taking Iowa State in this one. Iowa State, red hot, just absolutely obliterated Houston. 1 seed Houston, embarrassed them in the conference championship game, held them to 41 points. Iowa State, number 2 ranked defense in the nation this year. That's insane. And they get it done on offense too. They're not a slouch team on offense. This is a tough out of a team. This is a team that you will not want to face. This East region, there's like 5 teams in it where you're like, damn, that's a good team that's playing good ball right now. I mean, Auburn, Illinois, Iowa State, Connecticut, like they're the top 4 seeds are insane. And there's other good teams there too. BYU can get hot and not miss shots. So, but I'm going Iowa State here. They're just a better team. They're one of the best teams in the nation right now. Colin.
Yeah, real quick before I make my pick, Jay Wright, great coach, Villanova, took some teams on some Cinderella runs here. I saw something on TikTok earlier this week that his trendy Cinderella pick that no one's talking about is 2 seed Iowa State. And I don't know if he knows what Cinderella means because Iowa State is one of the best teams in the country. And I am easily moving on here. Yeah, I had to drop a comment. I was like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say UConn's my Cinderella.
That's my Cinderella team.
They're literally ranked the 5th team, aren't they not? They're in the first bracket.
They're the best 2
seed.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So I don't know. But yes, Iowa State will be moving on here. I have them going pretty far in my bracket as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, Jackrabbits. Iowa State's offense, having figured it out on top of the defense, it's just GG. Virginia wishes they were Iowa State right now. It's just when you have good defense at the end of the day and your offense can actually put the ball in the basket, you're going to be tough to beat in the tournament. And Iowa State rolling. Give me Iowa State all day.
Agreed. All right, let's swing over to the west side of the bracket. We're going first game, 1 seed, North Carolina versus the 16 seed Wagner Seahawks. Coming off of a win in their first 4 game. Good for them. That's the only win they're getting. North Carolina is just too good. I don't foresee a 16 win in this one. North Carolina is favored by 25 points. Excellent rebounding team. One of the best strength of schedules, season performance overall. It's North Carolina. I'm not going to waste our time on that one. And just me, Addison.
Yeah, I'm going to go Wagner here. No, it's North Carolina all day. RJ Davis and Baycott's still there. They got the guy from 7 years ago still racking up rebounds. So I can't lie. 1 seed Carolina, I get it. It had weakened throughout the end of the season, but I was just a little bit shocked that they got the 1. They did play well to end the season though, so got to give them that. But North Carolina just mollywops. It's going to be 25 plus.
Agreed. Colin?
Yeah, Wagner almost blew like a 17-point lead to Howard in the playing game. They won by 3, thankfully, because Howard has a guy who's 26 in his 8th year of college basketball. I don't know if you saw that text, Nate, but Aaron Craft 2.0.
Another Aaron Craft.
But it's North Carolina, ACC Player of the Year, and RJ Davis, and then Armando Baycott's back, and they got a squad. So I'm going to take North Carolina short and sweet.
Like it. Next up, tough one. Tough game to pick. Number 8, Mississippi State against number 9, Michigan State. Addison, what are your thoughts on this game?
Man, I just look at Michigan State and go, should you even be in? Yikes, 19-14, and they were definitely supposed to be good this year. Preseason 1, I'm pretty sure. But, man, I'm going to take Michigan State just because I'm going to fall for the trap of I think they're going to be what they should be when the lights are shining the brightest. When it matters most right here, right now, give me Michigan State to win round 1, first game of the tournament today.
Colin, what are your thoughts?
I saw a stat that whenever Tom Izzo is the lower or the higher seed in a matchup, he has a win rate of 65%, which is kind of crazy, meaning that he's not an underdog betting wise as far as the odds and spreads go. But as far as the seeding goes, he's an underdog today. But I'm going to continue the trend of fading the Big Ten. I'm going to take Mississippi State here, 2 top 20 defenses. I'm surprised Michigan State had the 9th ranked strength of schedule, which I found kind of shocking, but I guess they do play in the blue blood tournament to start the year where they play either North Carolina, Duke, or Kentucky, and then they play that gauntlet in the Big Ten. I'm going to take Mississippi State here. I think, call me crazy, I know we're not getting to round 2 yet, but I like Mississippi State to make a little run here after they got some momentum generated in the SEC tournament.
Okay, wow. I'm going to ride with Addison and Michigan State in this one. Just a tough game to pick. Again, I don't really know how Michigan State's here other than that it's Michigan State. And, and if I don't think that there's any scripting going on, but I'm just saying if Michigan State and North Carolina have a chance to face off in the second round, they're going to be licking their chops for that one. That's a great matchup between 2 historic franchises, 2 colleges, whatever. But that'll be a really good game. I'm excited to watch that one. I'm just not impressed by either team. especially when you look at the advanced metrics, like offensively, Mississippi State's a good rebounding team, but otherwise they're outside of the top 50 and everything. Just not impressed with them. Or Michigan State. Michigan State's good at not turning the ball over, and then they're outside of the top 100 and everything. So just kind of an matchup between two teams. So we'll see. It's a 1-point line for a reason. So I'll take
Michigan State's got their two guards returning from the last several years, Hogard and Walker. But what scares me is interior. So I think this game's gonna be won on the glass. I think Mississippi State was really good in the SEC tournament on the glass, and so that's why I have them moving on here.
I like it. Next up, 5 seed St. Mary's going up against the 12 seed Grand Canyon Antelopes. What a terrible mascot. I've been fading St. Mary's here, and I don't know why. Grand Canyon, number 5 overall in defense, good at offensive rebounding. St. Mary's good at defensive rebounding and overall defense. I'm just gonna go with the 12 over a 5 here in a game that doesn't make a ton of sense. Again, this is more of like a flip a coin. I'm gonna take an upset here because it feels right. I'm gonna take Grand Canyon here. Addison, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I want to take Grand Canyon extremely bad, and then I just really lock in on St. Mary's, and I'm like, damn, they had a great season.
They did.
They did have a good season, and almost went undefeated in the conference, so lost to Gonzaga. Man, Grand Canyon can score the ball though as well. So I've already taken a 12. Give me St. Mary's here, and I'm gonna be pissed because I picked the wrong one.
You went with the other 12. Colin, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, trendy upset pick, and I'm doing it as well. 12 seed Grand Canyon, I have moving on. St. Mary's is just a team. They have a great year. They have a great year a lot of years. I don't know what it is about watching them play. I'm just not a fan. So I'm just almost fading it just simply for my own personal viewership sake. Grand Canyon, a lot of tempo, a lot of scoring. Tyan Grant Foster is a great scorer on their team, a lot of athleticism. I think they just are too much for St. Mary's in this matchup.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Next up, 4 seed Alabama and 13 seed. What is that? Is that Colorado Charleston? Is that what it is?
College of Charleston.
College of Charleston. Okay, that makes me feel better. Doesn't matter because Alabama's going to absolutely blow the doors off of them. Alabama's just too good at scoring. Just too good at scoring. They played the number 1 strength of schedule. They had the hardest schedule the entire college. 21-11 is not spectacular, but then you see they played just unbelievable teams, and they were the number 2 team in scoring points per possession. So they can score against the very best, and College of Charleston is not the very best. So give me Bama to get the win there. Colin.
Yeah, I like Bama to move on here too. Ultimately, their defense does worry me. Gave up 100 multiple times this season, but their offense is going to be a lot for majority of teams. I think they jack up like 35 threes a game. So almost like the most NBA style offense we've seen. They live and die by it. It'll reward them plenty if it's going in, and it will hurt them a lot if they don't go in. But I have them beating Charleston here today or tomorrow, whenever it is.
Whenever it is. Addison.
Yeah, I want to take Charleston here really bad just because Alabama's defense is so bad. They just don't care about it because the points matter more. But I'm going to go Alabama because I just think the points will be too much. Even if they're having an off night, it's just going to be too often, too fast of a pace. Bama's going to score 90, 85 plus in this game, and I just don't see how Charleston keeps up. So give me Bama.
Yeah, I like it. Next up, 6 seed Clemson against 11 seed New Mexico. This has been a very popular pick, and it's New Mexico. I'm going with them too against Clemson. I want to say, isn't Rick Pitino their coach, or Pitino? No,
it might be
Pitino St. John's.
Pitino's son.
Yeah.
Is it Pitino's son? I don't know.
That was
dad.
His dad's not coaching in the NIT because he's pissed.
Good. But New Mexico's very solid. They're actually predicted to win by 2.5 right now, is what the line is. Just 2 very evenly matched teams, and I'm just riding with New Mexico, just a little bit better defensively. I mean, quite a bit better defensively, actually. They're number 24 in opponent points per allowed, and they're top 50 in points scored. So I like that, both top 50 offensive and defensive. And they're the 11 seed. I like them to pull off the pseudo upset in this matchup. Addison.
Yeah, I'm also taking New Mexico here. They're rolling right now. They're hot. Just had beat San Diego State, and Clemson on the other side is on a 2-game skid. And I understand it's the end of the season. It's tournament time to lock in. I don't care. Clemson's just rolling in, beat up. New Mexico's on a high right now, and this is their opportunity. I just think they're the better team overall as well. So give me New Mexico here for a little upset, not upset.
I like it. And Colin.
Yeah, Clemson runs a gauntlet there in the ACC, but I'd argue that New Mexico does the same thing in the Mountain West. I do think PJ Hall is a very underrated, versatile big for Clemson, but I don't think he's going to be enough today to get them or in the first round to get them past New Mexico. I like New Mexico here and the region of fuckery, as I like to call it, because I think this region has 3 or 4, double-digit seeds that could be in the final 3 or 4 of this region.
Agreed.
But give me New Mexico here in the 6-11 to move on.
I like it. 3-14, Baylor, Colgate. I like Baylor a lot in this one. I want to take Colgate and continue the region of upsets, but I'm gonna ride with Baylor here. Very, very good 3-point shooting team. One of the better teams in the nation in offense and effective field goal percentage. Defensively leaves a lot to be desired, but Colgate can't take advantage of that. They just don't score enough. So I'm gonna take Baylor to get the win here and move on. Colin.
I'm going Baylor as well. Talk about the Big 12 being one of the better conferences in college basketball. Their strength of schedule is 3rd in the country, according to Ken Pom, playing the average 15th ranked opponent offense and number 1 opponent defense. So they're battle tested. They've gone up against these great defenses all season. And they're one of the better shooting teams, as you said, Nate. I don't have a lot of faith in them long term in this tournament, but in this first round game, I have a lot of faith in Baylor to move on.
Okay, like it. Addison, bring it home.
I'm gonna take Colgate. Baylor, the strength of schedule, obviously being battle tested is important, but at times I felt it was lackluster with Baylor all year. Even though a 3 seed, how lackluster could that truly be? You're one of the better teams in the country, but regardless, the eye test wasn't there for me, as crazy as that is. So give me the 14 Colgate. Making some news, making some noise.
I love it.
Baylor.
Nice. I like that. Good game here. 7-10. Dayton, Nevada. 2 very good 3-point shooting teams. That's what both of these teams are going to live and die by. Especially Dayton. If they're hitting, they're tough. They're top 20 in threes and shooting accuracy in general. But Nevada's also a good shooting. They're number 40 in scoring, and they're top 40 in shooting threes and scoring as well. So it's going to be a tough one. This will be a good game. Colin, what are your thoughts on this one?
7-10, man. 7-10. I love Nevada here in this spot. I thought Dayton was maybe a little overseeded as a 7. I don't want to, put too much on the 8-10, but big Mountain West guy this year with Nevada, and I think they move on here. I think what gets it done, Nate, you mentioned both teams very good offensively. I think Nevada's edge on the defensive side of the ball gives them the edge in this game. So I'm going Nevada with another double-digit seed moving on in this region.
Yeah, I'm taking Nevada with you. Nevada's top 60 defensively, top 40 offensively. Dayton very good offensively, but not even cracking the top 100 defensively. So I like Nevada as the more well-rounded team. Again, though, if Dayton comes out and hits their first few threes, look out. They could boat race them. They could just not miss. So I'm going to take a 10 seed Nevada here to get the win. Addison, bring it home on the West.
Well, Dayton 15-0 at home this year, but guess what? This game ain't at home. 9-7 on the road, just a different arena, just different atmosphere, and it's the biggest time, man. Give me Nevada for the little upset, 10-7. Dayton's a damn good team, though. You said this game is going to come down to the wire. It could be just late threes, 80 plus points, both teams, a lot of offense. But give me Nevada.
Like it. Now actually bring it home on the West. Arizona and Long Beach State. Arizona, damn good. Long Beach State, one of those teams that's happy to be there from the Big West. Addison, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a nice and easy one. Give me Arizona. I think they have an opportunity to go deep in the tournament. A little bit of struggles late from them, but I still believe in Arizona. So give me AZ here, nice and easy.
Colin?
Yeah, the pick's clearly Arizona, but one of the best stories going into this March Madness tournament is Long Beach State's coach. They were told them before the conference tournament they're going to part ways after the year. Well, guess what? I'm going to go out and win the conference tournament, and we're still going to go to the tournament. So suck on D's. I'm going to build my resume. From his presser he gave out, it doesn't really sound like he's going to be looking for another coaching job. He kind of seems like he might ride off into the sunset. But hey, why not go out and get a 15-2 upset on the way to that sunset? But I'm going to take Arizona here. I'm not going that ambitious.
I think I might do it. I might give it out. I have no reason to think it.
Other than like the last 10 years of Arizona March Madness basketball.
Yeah. That's a good reason why there's going to be one 15 seed that wins. There just will be. I just feel it. Like everything is looking like it's got to be Arizona. I think almost every bracket I filled out, I have Arizona winning, and I filled out a handful of brackets. And I'm gonna take Long Beach State on video right now. Give me the 15 seed over the 2 seed for literally no analytical reason. There's not a single reason behind that outside of the fact that it's the coach's last run. It's a middle finger to the school. I love it. Imagine he goes all the way. Imagine they go and make a run to the Final Four, and he's like, "Yep, this is how I do it, suckers." I don't know. It won't happen. They'll get beat by 25 or 30 points.
And then he goes to coach Michigan.
Yes, and he's the new Michigan.
I'm kidding.
All right, let's move over to the South bracket. Halfway through the first round here. We're doing good. First up, Houston and Longwood Lancers. Don't know where that is. I'm going to start us off here with the big pick, and that's Houston. That one feels pretty simple. I cannot justify even considering a 16 seed here. Houston is just so damn good defensively. I mean, one of, if not the very best, they are the best defensive team in the nation. Number 1 in points allowed per possession. Number 2 in opponents' effective field goal percentage. And number 3 in opponent turnover percentage. They just take the ball and they stop you from scoring. I'm going to just throw out the Iowa State game. Horrible game from them. Whatever. Moving on. They're just better than Longwood, than the Lancers. So give me Houston. Colin.
Yeah, Longwood Lancers, more like the big baby Lancers.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. There's jokes obviously to go around. The last few years, I think there's been a phallic named team and or suggested team that has beaten a top 2 or 3 seed, and Longwood's one of the 2 teams this year that qualifies for that. However, I don't see them beating Houston. Houston's defense is too damn good. Jamal Shedd's one of my favorite players to watch in college basketball, one of the best point guards. And if Houston's offense doesn't go completely stagnant, if Houston can score 50 points, they're going to win this game easily.
I think 50 points does it. I agree. Addison.
Give me Houston here, but give me like 7 minutes into the game. Longwood's still winning.
Like one of those where you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, like what the fuck's happening here?
It's like 13-9, 7 minutes in.
Yeah, seriously, something like that. And you're like, what's going on, Houston? But then they figure it out.
And you turn that game off because neither team wants to score any points. God, it's like watching Virginia play. That was miserable watching them play against Colorado.
I'm so happy they're out. I'm so happy they're out.
What a boring brand.
Makes you wonder what the committee saw by even allowing them to be in the play-in game versus a team like a St. John's or anybody else.
No idea. All right, so Houston consensus. Next up, Nebraska, Texas A&M. Nebraska, kind of a hot team. Kind of hot. Tominaga, kind of a fun story. I was watching, I was like, this kid can't miss. Against Illinois, every time he got the ball, he was throwing it up and he was just hitting it. I'm like, who is this? Unbelievable run from him. Pretty hot. Not very great defensively, but they're okay. Offensively, they're average again as well. They're 61st. Defensively, I guess they're a little better. Defensively, they're 60. So 60 and 61st. I like them over Texas A&M. I do like Texas A&M's brand of basketball. I think it's going to be a really good game. But I'm going to ride the hot hand in Nebraska to maybe make a little sneaky run. Maybe they give Houston some problems if Tominaga is going to drop 30. Huh? Never know. Addison, thoughts?
Yeah, this could get us canceled. Don't know if it's a racist nickname, but Katsu Curry is what they call this man in Nebraska, and he is insane, man. Where's the 30? And he shoots it like Steph. Big Ten team here, so I'm riding. Give me Nebraska. And it's strictly just because the way they looked in the tournament and the way the offense looks, and it's just if they're hitting big time shots. And I like that big with the crazy hair as well.
Dude, that hair's nuts. That hair's
nuts.
And
he just hustles hard the whole time. And that's big in the tournament. Long body, long rebounds. Give me Nebraska here. Big Ten.
I like it. Colin, bring it home.
Yeah, spoiler. This is my favorite game of the round of 64. Nebraska, Texas A&M. You have 2 of the most streaky scorers. Watch out. You have the Japanese Curry on one side, and then you have Wade Taylor the 4th on the other side for Texas A&M. He is my favorite player in college basketball to watch. If he puts in one basket, the next 2 or 3 possessions, they're going in as well out of his hand. Watch the up and down, back and forth. I just hope we have a great game. I am going to go Texas A&M here. I think they're one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the country, and that plays in March. Offensive rebounds.
It does. It does. Okay, I like that. Next up, number 5 seed Wisconsin against number 12 seed James Madison. Addison, what are your thoughts on this game?
I think this is another opportunity for me to slurp on the Big Ten's meat. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So give me Wisconsin, team that more losses than they should have. Obviously, at middle of the season, just sort of hit a lull, but picked it up late, got extremely hot, and ran into a buzzsaw in the championship game against Illinois, and it came down to the wire as well. James Madison, though, you look on the other side. I think most wins in the country are damn close, 31.
31-3.
And this is just a team where I won't be shocked when James Madison wins, but give me Wisconsin just because of the way they're playing as of late. And again, Big Ten, I'm a homer.
Okay, I like it. Colin.
Yeah, Wisconsin is one of the harder teams to read when it comes to recent March Madness memories. However, they just always seem to find their way to like a 32 or at least a 16. I'm gonna go Wisconsin here. Chucky Hepburn's one of the more dynamic players, great on the defensive side of the ball as well. And Wisconsin is kind of rolling a little bit. They just beat Purdue. They just barely lost to Illinois in the championship game. Give me that Big Ten. Give me Wisconsin to move on.
Okay, I'll be honest. I've been sitting here and I've switched my pick twice. Like I was Wisconsin, and then I was looking at James Madison. They're top 20 scoring and defensive. Like they're one of those teams where it's like, oh, they have the metrics to make a run. But I just, like you said, I can't get over Wisconsin's win over Purdue. It's huge. They are getting hot again. Like they were, like I said, ranked 6th in the nation before when they went to play Purdue and they lost. And then they had a slump. Lost. It looks like they're getting hot again. Like they're figuring out what they were doing earlier in the year and they're getting it rolling. James Madison hasn't played anybody. They have the 212th strength of schedule. Wisconsin has the 2nd. And Wisconsin was a top 10 team in the nation this season. I'm going to go with Wisconsin and stay with my Big Ten bias just a little bit and take the 5 seed Wisconsin. And I'm all chalk so far. That is not good. I hate when I'm all chalk. Next up, 4 seed Duke, 13 seed Vermont. Let's see here. Colin, what are your thoughts on this one?
As much as I want to go Vermont because I just don't like Duke historically. Don't know anybody who does that's not a Duke fan. But they're just too slow and dull for my liking. I think Duke handles them pretty easily, sadly. And they'll move on to the next round to face the winner of Wisconsin and James Madison.
Yeah. Okay. Addison?
Yeah, the real killer for me is going to be the rebounding. Duke just with the massive size, and on the other side of things, Vermont's best rebounder is a guard, only averaging 5 a game. I just can see Flipikowski, even though he's a little bit of a bitch. I can see him having a big game just because of his size. And how do you guard size at a certain point? You can't. So give me Duke here, and I want to take Vermont as well because I talk about eye test, man. Duke at times has looked ugly. Offense is dumb to the point where it's like, what are these guys? They're just not on the same page. Defense switches aren't there all the time with Duke. We'll see, though. I just think it's going to be the same thing. Size is too much. So give me the Dukies.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Duke as well, but I am tempted to take Vermont. I really do feel it. Like Vermont's defense is very solid. 22nd ranked defense in the nation. Very good at slowing other teams' offenses down, but they are the 333rd offensive rebounding team. They do not get any extra opportunities, so they have to play perfect to keep up with Duke. Will they play perfect? Unlikely. So give me Duke to move on and continue chalk. Until this one, I'm going NC State over Texas Tech. I like the 11 seeds in this tournament. I said it right when we started recording. I really like the 11 seeds here. NC State is this is a close game. This is a game that's going to come down to the wire, I think. Neither team is spectacular, but I just don't love Texas Tech. I like NC State here, so give me NC State. Colin.
Yeah, I'm going to take NC State here, 11 seed to move on in this spot. And DJ Burns, big man, just had a really good ACC tournament. Winning the ACC tournament is probably the only reason they're in this tournament. And after this tournament's over, if he wants to come and play left tackle for my Dallas Cowboys, he has a big body and he's going to be a problem down low for this Texas Tech team.
I like it. Addison.
Yeah, I'm on NC State, and it's just the fact that they're extremely hot. Like you said, they won the ACC tournament, beat North Carolina as well to do it, a rival that they've played tough every single time they've played. So give me North Carolina State here to upset Texas Tech. We're all right in it.
Yep, I like it. It's a consensus upset. That's always exciting. Next up, we've got 3 seed Kentucky and 14 seed Oakland. Both these teams, Kentucky plays great offense. Oakland doesn't really do a whole. Oakland plays pretty good offense too, 28th ranked in points per possession. Neither team plays defense, so who's going to outscore the other? I don't see any way Kentucky doesn't outscore Oakland. I just don't. Kentucky has too much talent overall to lose that game. So I'm going to go 3 seed Kentucky there. Addison, what are your thoughts?
Man. Is Kentucky going to make the run to the Elite Eight, or are they losing early, man? Because that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
You said it, though. I just think it's too much offense for Oakland. I think Kentucky will get it done in this game, and we'll ride the chalk.
Yeah. All right. Colin.
Yeah, Oakland's one of the only Horizon League teams I'll actually bet on ever. But however, I will not be betting on them in this tournament. I have Kentucky going to the championship game. As blasphemous as that might sound, behind two big freshman guards in Dillingham and Shepard, but also Antonio Reeves, ISU transfer. Shout out ISU. One of the best, most consistent scorers in this tournament and in college basketball. Give me Kentucky to move on here. No upset in this game.
I like that. All right. Next up, 7 seed Florida, 10 seed Colorado. Addison, thoughts on this game?
Pissed that they're playing each other because I like both of these
Yeah,
teams.
me too.
I'm gonna ride Florida though. Give me the 7 seed to beat the 10. Gonna be a good game. Line's practically even. Florida, though, just for me, throughout the season in the SEC, had enough opportunities to show that they were at least legit, and I feel like they did that enough for me. I'm going to take Florida here in a close game. Again, I'm pissed that these two teams are playing. I would have picked them both in different matchups, but give me Florida here in a good game.
All right. I like it. Colin, thoughts?
Yeah, Florida is the only 7th seed I have moving on out of the first round. So obviously I'm picking them here in this game. It is interesting though, because you always gotta watch those teams that play the first 4 play in, because I think every year they've done it, there's always been a team to go at least to the second weekend, I believe, which is the Sweet 16. So what team played it, the last couple of days is going to do it? Can Colorado do it? I don't know, maybe, but I'm going to go Florida here.
Florida. Okay. All right. I'm happy to be the loner here and to ride Colorado. I think it's a really good game, and I really do, like Addison said, I hate that these two teams are playing each other because I like them both. I go back and forth on this one a ton. Colorado was a top 18 team earlier on in the year. Couple of good wins. When Miami was ranked 15th, they knocked them off pretty handily. I don't think Colorado goes far in this tournament. I think their run would end next round against likely Marquette. But I like them to knock off Florida here, and kind of like you said, like a shocker, where one of those first 4 games, one of those teams ends up moving on. Now that could also be Colorado State, who looked really good against Virginia. But I like Colorado, won a tough game against Boise State. They were favored in by just a few points, won by 7, so a good game from them. That's a good one. I mean, if kind of a coin flip, it's a 1-point spread. It's gonna be tight. So, all right, last game of the South region, Marquette and Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. I'm going Marquette, just the better overall team. It's a 2 seed. I already took my 115 seed over a 2 seed. I'm not doing it again. No, sir. Addison, thoughts?
I want to take Western Kentucky because I test Marquette sucks. They suck. But I'm not, because Western Kentucky really sucks. They're only here because they won their tournament. Got hot late, and I've used that to justify some of my picks, but don't care. They went 8-8 in conference play. They did win over 20 games, but Marquette's they're just going to be too much defensively. Give me the 2 seed here, pretty easy.
Yeah, I like it. All right, Colin, last pick.
Yep, I like Marquette here as well. Keep it short and sweet. I think they have a dynamic duo in guards with Tyler Kolek coming back from his injury for this tournament, and then Cam Jones. There's nothing like a sweet lefty jumper. I am a sucker for a nice lefty jumper, and he's got it. And they got the big down low as well. I have Marquette moving on here.
Okay, all righty. Let's bring it home. Last 8 games of the first round. First up, it's Purdue and Grambling State. Purdue will not lose again. No way are they doing it back-to-back years. If they do it back-to-back years, they should be dissolved as a basketball team, and they should not be allowed to play basketball anymore. That's mine. So, Colin.
Yeah, the committee was like, you know what, Purdue, we feel bad that you guys just embarrass yourselves year after year. So we're going to give you the by far easiest region I've ever seen in my entire lifetime.
100%.
And if Purdue somehow doesn't face Tennessee or at least get to the Elite Eight themselves, whether it's Tennessee or Creighton once they get there, I would be absolutely stunned.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I have Purdue easily moving on over Grambling State.
Okay.
Yeah, Purdue here, easy pick. Matt Painter, though, got to get to a Final Four, bud. You've got to get to a Final Four, bud, especially with Zach Edey having played 10 years. You're not going to have the 7-6 guy next season to cheese the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Purdue looks like. But you got to get it done now. This is your last opportunity. But Purdue, easy. They're pissed about last year. They're gonna clap cheeks today or
They
whatever
have
they play.
to. They have to. 8-9 matchup. Utah State, TCU. Tough one. This is a good game. Colin, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I've gone back and forth a few times. TCU was a fan favorite last season, but they've just struggled this year. Jameer Nelson Jr. is a nice watch, and they got an athletic big that his name's escaping me at this moment. But I'm going to go Utah State here. All over Utah State for zero reason other than I've been fading TCU for more than half this season. So I'm going to continue to do so here.
Okay, I like it. Addison, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna also take Utah State. I just want to give a quick shout out to Bucket with Trent because he's definitely going to be slamming TCU money line today. So this is a free bet, free place, free W for Utah State. So appreciate that guy. Nice and easy.
Okay, well, that convinced me because I wasn't totally sold yet. But yeah, if I knew for sure that he was hammering TCU, I'm all in Utah State. And TCU, like Utah State's a good team too. I don't want to take anything away from them. Like they're solid, very good rebounding team, top 40 in shooting accuracy and rebounding. So I like Utah State there for sure.
Since you mentioned Bucket Trent, I think I already saw a TikTok. He released an 8-leg parlay that's like plus 160 for today.
I think I saw that too.
So that's where he's at currently.
All the 1 seeds and the 2 seeds and
yeah.
Yeah, gross. All right, let's get in to keep on rolling here. Sorry, it actually kicked me off of this, so I've got to scroll over to where I was here. Who wants to lead us off? Someone wants to lead us off.
I got you. We got the Gonzaga and the McNeese State game. McNeese 30-3, Gonzaga 25-7. McNeese dominated their conference tournament, and this team can put the ball in the basket. And Gonzaga, they're still just riding the past success from a couple guys from years ago. Weren't able to get the job done this year in the tournament because of St. Mary's, but no one else really gave him competition. Man, you know what? Screw it. I'm taking the 12. Give me McNeese here over Gonzaga. It's just the same thing. Didn't really like how Gonzaga looked this season and got to have some upset. So I'm going the 12 here.
Okay, I like that. Colin, thoughts?
I like Gonzaga here in this spot. McNeese, obviously a great season, 30-3. But this is one of the most underrated Gonzaga's been in years prior to remember. So I'm going to take them here strictly for that. I think we're overlooking them just a touch, but I don't have the most confidence in them going deep in this tournament. But I do have confidence in them winning this game here. I'm looking something up because I don't want to give out anything incorrect, but I'm pretty sure McNeese beat like a Bible studies team this year. And then they beat like a college of women's team this year as well, where I wasn't sure if it was actually against women or against men at the college of women, but I'm assuming it was against women. I don't know. So strictly for those two non-conference games, I am going Gonzaga.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, McNeese State hasn't played really anybody. I will say a huge win over the Michigan Wolverines earlier this year.
Michigan sucks. By the way, I think that OT. I think that game with the women's college went to OT. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm taking Gonzaga.
They beat Michigan by double digits in Ann Arbor.
That's how I knew Juwan Howard was cooked.
Oh my
fucking blow, man.
They also beat UAB and beat VCU this year. Okay, McNeese actually has some decent wins.
Yeah, but they lost to West Carolina.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not great. I'm going to take Gonzaga. I think they're going to win, but I agree. I don't think they're going far. Next up, 4-13, Kansas and Samford. I've been pretty high on Kansas for a while. I'm going to stay high on Kansas. I like Kansas in this spot. I like them to make a little bit of a run, maybe. Who knows? They're streaky. They were one of the favorite teams coming into the year, and I think they make a little bit of a run here. So give me Kansas to get the win.
Yeah.
Someone.
My
Sorry.
bad, my fault.
Sorry. No, go ahead, Aston. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the question here is, what's up with Kansas's injury status? Because
they're hurt.
The guy is playing. Because if they are, I think it'll be a mollywop. If not, it could be close.
Dickinson's back, but Kevin McCullers Jr., their best scorer, is out. Bill Self for the whole tournament. Bill Self said his knees just.
Yeah, I saw that. That is a heartbreaker. I will say Dickinson. Shout out Michigan, go blue. He'll be able to do enough in the first game. He'll get you your 20 and 12, couple dumb ones that go in. He's slow, he's molasses. But give me Kansas here. Just sorry, Samford. GG's.
Yeah, I agree. Colin?
I'm gonna go on a limb and take Samford here in this spot. I don't want to put too much stock in Kansas at the end of the season because they were injured, but they're still injured now. I just don't have a lot of faith. They just have zero bench scoring whatsoever, and now you're losing their best scorer in the starting group. Yes, Dickinson being back. Yes, Harris at point guard is one of the best facilitating guards in the country. I just don't know. I just don't know. So I'm going to go Sanford for the hell of it.
Okay, I like that. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Gotta scroll back. This darn thing messed up on me. I know it's
South Carolina and Oregon is what
Yep.
I am looking at
6
right
South
here.
Carolina and 11 Oregon. I am gonna go with the 6 seed South Carolina to get the win here. Oregon has not really impressed me this year. They've come up against some good teams throughout the season, and they've lost to most of these good teams. I will say they did beat Arizona at Arizona. That's a big win. But they also lost to Arizona by 20 and lost to them by 9. South Carolina has played well against good teams, beat Kentucky, beat Tennessee. I'm going to roll with South Carolina to get the win here and move on. Addison.
I think I'm gonna go Oregon here. Won their conference tournament, and South Carolina, they ran into Auburn. Buzzsaw at that point. That's just a tough one. But I'm gonna go the 11 seed Oregon in an opportunity here for the Pac-12 to get a claim in that round of 32.
Okay, I like it. And Colin.
Yeah, you got the team that's here because they won their conference tournament against the team that was picked to finish last in the SEC and ended up going 13-5 in conference play, finishing fifth, tied for fifth, one game behind Tennessee for first, or tied for second, I guess technically. So I'm gonna go South Carolina here. I just think they've been underrated all year. Now, with that being said, Oregon probably beats them by 20 today because I'm sitting here over here glazing over them. But I'm gonna take South Carolina here to move on.
Okay. All right, down to the last few games here. Next up, Creighton and Akron. I really like Creighton in this tournament. I think Creighton is going to make a good run. They're always just one of those like Ken Pom darlings. They play good offense. They play good defense. They do everything the right way. They've got some good wins. They beat Marquette by 14.
Yeah.
Now, Marquette, maybe not that great of a team, to be fair, but they beat them. They beat Bama. They did lose to UConn, but they also beat UConn by 19 points. That's an impressive win. Creighton is very, very good. That's probably one of the scariest 3 seeds in the whole tournament. Give me Creighton to get the win here and make a run. Colin.
Yeah, like you said, Creighton's one of those teams where every year it's like, I think they're going to be really good. And then it's like Sweet 16 and they're just, down 17 to an 11 seed. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's done with Creighton. Bailey Shireman's one of the weirder players in college basketball. He's like 6'8", 6'9", but he plays like a big, but he can also ball handle. So he likes to play booty ball, get that undersized guard on the backside of him, back him down. They got Trey Alexander at wing as well, great shooter. They got Culk Brenner, the big. They got the transfer guard from Utah State and Ashworth. So I got Creighton moving on here, short and sweet. But I don't know if I have them going to like a Final Four or if I have them losing to the Sweet 16. It's just one of those teams. But I like Creighton here against Akron.
Okay, I like that. Addison.
Yeah, this game is going to come down to senior Enrique Freeman for the Akron Zips. 6'7", big, but he's their best player. And I'm taking Akron. Screw it. They birthed LeBron, they birthed Steph there in that city, so they got to be pretty good at basketball, right? Just give me Akron for the 14. Give me 2 14 seeds beating a 3 seed. Creighton at times, to me, just looked a little lackluster, but the size is there. I could easily see this being a beatdown and Creighton going deep in the tournament. Don't get me wrong, but got to have some parity here, so give me Akron.
Okay, I like that. All right, last 2 games. First up, 7 seed Texas and 10 seed Colorado State. I'm taking another first 4 team. I'm going Colorado State to beat Texas here. Just looking at their games and who they've beaten, Texas has only got a couple of good marquee wins. They beat Baylor by 2 and they beat TCU by 11, but then they lost to BYU, Houston, Iowa State. I mean, every good team they've come against, maybe they played them close, but they lost. So I like Colorado State. They've got some good wins. They beat Creighton by 21 points. That's a huge victory at Creighton also. Split with San Diego State on the season. They've beaten Nevada. They just kicked the crap out of Virginia. I like Colorado State here. They may be scary for Tennessee to face in the next round. Give me the 10 seed Colorado State to get the win in an upset. Addison.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you as well. There's my first 4 team making it to the second day. Texas, don't know how there's 7, if I'm being honest. I feel like that's maybe a little high for them just from what they did this season. Going 8-8 in conference play, 20+ wins is impressive, but a lot of teams did that around the country. And Texas didn't pop for me. And Colorado State, we said it, first 4 teams, they do make a little run. They get hot, got an extra day of basketball. They're nice and loose. So give me Colorado State for an upset, I guess, 10/7 and a good game.
I like it. Colin.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier with my Florida pick, I only had 1 7 seed moving on. So Texas does not fit that bill here. I have Colorado State moving on, which means they're going to lose because all 3 of us have it. But watch out for Max Abe Smith's big run last year, I believe, or the last couple of years with Oral Roberts, transfers to Texas. You never know if he has another March moment in him. But I'm going to go Colorado State here.
Okay. All right. And we're bringing it home. Last game, 2 seed Tennessee and the 15 seed St. Peter's. Now, if I'm not mistaken, St. Peter's made a run not that long ago, right?
Yep. 2 years
St.
ago,
Peter's
I believe.
had a pretty good run at one point. But man, Tennessee's just too good. Tennessee's one of the best teams in the country. They're scary. They've beaten so many good teams this year. That's somebody you just really don't want to see. They're going to be one of the harder outs as a 2 seed. I may even have them going a long ways in this tournament. We'll see. Kellen, thoughts?
Yeah, I like Tennessee so much. I have them winning this region and going to the Final Four. I think they have the best player in college basketball in Dalton Connect. Yes, I'm an Indiana fan, so suck at Zach Edey. But I think they have the most skilled player in college basketball in Dalton Connect, and I think they win this game easily today.
Okay, I like it.
First
Addison.
Yeah, big time players in March are huge, and Dalton, like you said, Connect. He's elite. St. Peter's, it's a good story, man. Guess what? It ain't gonna repeat itself. There's a Cinderella for a reason, and you already had your run. It's cool that they're back, but Tennessee, again, defense is just going to be too good. And then they're again, like you said it earlier, Steve, so Tennessee scores 55. I could see them winning this game just because the defense of Tennessee could keep St. Peter's completely shut down. But give me Tennessee here, 2 seed, nice and easy.
Okay, I like it. That's it for the first round, everybody. These games tip off real soon here. So if you're wondering what we think, sit through this, and we'll have our second round games coming out as well as soon as the first round is done. That's all we've got for you guys today. If you like football, if you found us and you like both college basketball and football, we do a ton of NFL stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video. And we'll see you guys in the next one.